three-point shooter, and they clear cap space for you-know-who, playoff Rondo, you're in trouble.
Can I ask you a question? If Cool Hand Luke was so Cool Hand Luke, why Detroit let him go?
Well, it's just too much that they offered for him. They gave up the sun and the moon. Landry Shamet. Yeah.
Skip feeling confident over there about the Clippers.
I'm feeling real good about them.
How about this, guys? LaMelo Ball, well, he was confident as well. He said he was born to be the #1 pick in last night's NBA draft, but now he might have a chip on his shoulder. LaMelo fell behind Anthony Edwards and James Wiseman. Michael Jordan reportedly gave the Hornets his stamp of approval for the youngest Ball brother, and the team ran with it, selecting him 3rd overall. So, Shannon, are LaMelo and MJ a good match?
Man, look here. Skip, all I'm trying to see is LeVar and MJ get this one-on-one on. I mean, LeVar been calling this thing out, so it's right there now. So let's go on and get this thing on and put this to the side, and we're going to move forward. In all seriousness, Skip, LaMelo is not going to have the day-to-day. Mike is not coaching the team. So he's not going to be in day-to-day contact with LaMelo. I just think the thing is, like, LaMelo just, and Skip, everybody, even the greats that have met, that came after Michael and met him, has says what? He's a godlike figure. From Shaq to LeBron to everybody is in awe of him. Now, the difference is LaMelo was 2 years old when Jordan retired.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have maybe he doesn't have the same mystique or aura.
I don't know. He knows the shoes.
Yeah. He's still Michael Jordan.
I know.
And you still one of those Jordan shoes, and they came from somewhere.
Yep.
Skip, is it a good match? I don't understand how it would be a bad match. I just think the thing is, for me, is that because Michael is who he is, he had to have signed off on this. Skip, kind of like, most, for the most part, most owners are not Michael Jordan. They didn't play the game at the elite level. Well, he's the only one that played the game at the elite level. I don't think any other owners played no. Maybe in high school, but not to this degree, Skip. And so for me, is it a bad fit? I don't understand how it would be a bad fit. I really don't, Skip. As long as he doesn't go in there with the expectations that I need to impress Mike, that I need to show this, just go be you. Grow, get better and better every day, put the time in. And so for me, I think it's a great fit. We knew these top 3 guys was going to go. We didn't know particular order. It was going to be Wiseman, Edwards, or Melo, Edwards, or Wiseman. But it's funny, Skip, this is the second guy with a very unorthodox shot that Mike has taken with the top 3 pick. Kid Gilchrist in 2012, and now LaMelo in 2020. So
did Kid Gilchrist even have a shot? I don't know if it's unorthodox. It was non-existent, right?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
And so, but Skip, I just think the thing is that he had such a high grade on him. And it wasn't like, okay, we knew AD was going first in that draft. That was 2012. Okay, Bradley Beal went 3rd. I think Dame Lillard went 8th. You also had Draymond in that draft. So, Skip, it wasn't like a slam dunk, okay, we got a guy. This is the #1 undoubted pick.
Yep.
There was none of that. And these were the top 3 rated guys, and you was going to get whomever was left at the time you were selecting, you were going to take that guy. So I like the selection. I just hope Melo comes in, keeps his head down, and continue to work like he's done to get to this point. And if he does, I don't think MJ being his owner is going to be a problem.
Okay. Not only do I think it's not going to be a problem, I love this fit. This, for me, was a match made in hoop heaven. LaMelo plus MJ. They needed each other, and I doubted they were going to be able to connect because I still thought right up to game time last night, first pick in the draft, I just thought Minnesota will finally say, he's the most talented kid on the board. We got to do it. We need the box office, if nothing else. And then I thought Golden State, and we're going to talk about this horrible development in a moment, but with Clay's injury, and we don't know exactly how bad it is, but it sounds really bad. I thought maybe they would switch off and say, we just got to take this kid. We got to take LaMelo because we might need him next year to pair him and let him play off Steph a little bit, right? That didn't happen, and I was joyful that he fell to MJ. Why does LaMelo need MJ? Well, look, I know this is impossible, but if I could pour 2 ounces of whatever's inside MJ into this kid, 2 ounces of killer will, I might have something that would be MVP caliber. I might have a player who could eventually carry the Charlotte Hornets, as woeful as they've been under Jordan. might be able to carry him to the conference finals, or dare I say, maybe even to the NBA finals.
Well, Skip, do you think it might be too much weight? Because think about all the other guys that's come through there. I mean, you do have that guy sitting on the baseline. That Steve Ballmer sitting on the baseline is one thing. He ain't the logo.
LaMelo has been told since he was a baby that he was going to be MJ.
Yeah.
Seriously,
Yes,
seriously.
I believe, yes.
He has been conditioned to believe with all his heart and soul from his father, and I believe his mother, Tina, also. You are going to be great, great.
Yes.
Listen, LeVar sat right here 4 years ago. It wasn't on TV. It was in a break. But he said, my youngest, he said, he's going to be by far the best.
Right.
And I believe LeVar believes that with all his heart and soul.
Yep.
And I see the potential greatness. I see the flair. I see the creativity. I see the athletic ability. I see the passing gift that Lonzo has. I see all that. I also see a broken shot just like Lonzo's.
Right.
His is weird, different. It's a two-hand push shot.
Right.
He was 20 of 80 in Australia in that pro league. 20 of 80, that's 25%. It won't work at the next level. It'll only get worse before it gets better. So I don't love any of that, and I don't love it that he hasn't even, no one's even introduced defense to him yet. So Michael will become another father figure, big brother, however you want to look at it, that I think will instill some of the proper intangibles in him. And again, you might argue back, you can't teach intangibles. I think being around greatness can rub off. And he'll go to practice, and he'll pull the kid aside, and he'll have him up to the office occasionally. Maybe they'll grab a lunch occasionally, and maybe slowly, by osmosis, just being around greatness, it will start to hit home with this kid, because his potential greatness is obviously completely unbridled, unfocused, undisciplined. It's unmade yet, but it's there.
Right.
He's 6'7", and he might still be growing. He might be a 6'8" point guard who can also score the basketball.
Right.
Once upon a time at Chino Hills, he scored 92 points in a game, and I don't care how much you cherry pick, it's hard to score 92.
Yes.
You have to have some gift of scoring ability. And he does.
Well, that was the beginning of the no defense.
Okay,
It might have started in that game. It might have been brewing, but once you get 92, like, oh, I kind of like
And
this.
that was kind of LeVar coaching the team, even though he wasn't an official coach.
Right.
And it was all three brothers together, and they went 35-0 and won the California State Championship.
Well, Skip, that was the following year, because remember, LaMelo has broke the record, scored 72, and then he got hurt, and then Melo come back a couple of games later, get 92.
Here we go. Okay, so why does Michael need Melo? Look, as you well know, above anybody else, I'm the biggest Michael Jordan fan on the planet, but that's as a player.
Right.
As a team builder, he's been the all-time worst. So he went from greatest to worst.
Right.
Because 15 years, he has overseen the basketball operation in Charlotte, his home area, home state. And they love him there, obviously, but they do not love what has happened, because they've made the playoffs 3 times in 15 years. Think about that, 3 times. And they lost all 3 first-round series. They got swept twice. And their overall record in the playoffs is now 3-12. That ties Minnesota for the worst playoff winning percentage over the last 15 years. Right. And even if you look at the records of the teams that made the playoffs, it was a 7-7 seed, 7-7, and a 6. And they were 44-38, 43-39. One year they were 48-34. So they haven't even lit it up in years that they made the playoffs. Right. They've eked in. Okay? It's the all-time embarrassment and humiliation for Michael Jordan. And now he has the greatest show on earth. He's got Ball in the family.
Right.
He's got LeVar, and he's got LaMelo, and the whole Ball, dare I say, mystique, or whatever you want to call it, the phenomenon.
Yes.
And it's a great sideshow for him, because I will tell you this: I will be watching Charlotte games next year, and I'll bet you will too.
Yeah, I want to see how well he does in a real structured environment.
Exactly. And the team is not very good, and it wasn't very good last year. But
I like Graham, the rookie.
Hey, Devontae Graham had a breakout year. He was 18 and 8 assists.
Right.
I'm not sure how much he's going to enjoy playing with or off.
The Williams kid from Kentucky.
Washington. PJ Washington.
Yes.
Yeah. And Miles Bridges is not bad, and Cody Zeller is not bad. I thought Malik Monk was going to amount to something, and he's having all kinds of problems. And you know, you look, Terry Rozier's there and scored 18 a game last year. So